And now it's time for the real estate debate, where we debate the hottest topics in San Diego real estate. Let's meet today's panelists. Guest number 1, real estate advisor for Coldwell Banker West, Gabe Mendez. Guest number 2, realtor for Keller Williams Realty, Nadia Colucci. Guest number 3, native San Diegan and local real estate expert, Nadia Colucci. And guest number 4, real estate professional for the number 1 team in San Diego, according to Wall Street Journal and Zillow, Joe Corbisiero.
All right, welcome to the real estate debate. Thank you all so much for being here today. We've got 2 hot topics, 4 great agents. Let's jump right in. Topic number 1. With all these new laws popping up around San Diego vacation rentals, and the vacation rentals are a certain type of property that you can lease out almost like a hotel, buying one is probably too risky until the dust settles. Nadia.
I think if you're going to buy an investment property, regardless of if it's short-term or long-term, you should always take the more conservative approach. That's my recommendation. So you should bank on it renting long-term. If you can do short-term, awesome, bonus, you'll make more money. But I think you should always at least look from the angle of the most conservative approach. So I would say if you can get it long-term, then you're good.
Okay, so if it makes financial sense as a long-term rental,
right,
then get it. And if you can vacation rent, that's the cherry on the top.
Right.
But don't count on it being a vacation rental.
Well, not with everything going on. I don't think so, personally.
Okay.
Makes
sense.
Well, I think
Gabe?
personally, it's just good to get in while you can, right? If the laws haven't been established, which they haven't, some places they have been, certain cities in San Diego County, but if they haven't been established yet, you know, they're redoing the municipal code for short-term rentals. Hey, get in while you can right now. You know, Airbnb fees are high. A lot of people are making a lot of profit on this. Until things can get cleared out, take advantage of it. And there are parties that are lobbying against these bans. So even if these codes become a little more defined with short-term rentals, I believe it still will be in their favor. So yeah, buy.
Do you think that they're going to be grandfathered in if you get in now before the laws are in effect? Is that the reason why you think it's a good idea?
I don't think they'll be grandfathered in.
No.
I just think like, hey, look, until those codes are set, whether that's 1 month from now, 3 months, 6 months from now, I don't know. I like to make money. And that's why people purchase property. You know, you can make a lot of money depending where you purchase the rental, but you can make a lot of money in a short-term process. I mean, there's a lot of people who are making more money on a short-term basis than a long-term rental, then a 6-month lease, then a 12-month lease. They're making that in 3 months on short-term rentals. So yeah, purchase the property now. Yeah, it could be a little risky, but you're gonna make money either way. You're not gonna lose on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with Nadia that if you have the money, if you have the resources and the numbers make sense and there's a good return on your investment, do it. Even if it's long term. If the laws change, I think I heard it was going to be a minimum 21 day or maximum 21 days where somebody through Airbnb can actually stay in your property. That's still solid, especially around Comic-Con, summertime. San Diego is just a traveling mecca. I mean, people want to come here for any reason. Take advantage of it.
Okay. Joe?
Well, my background is actually vacation rentals. So in Rome, that's what I used to do back in Italy. So I have a lot of experience in that, and there's a ton of money to be made, ton, especially in San Diego. I was doing calculations such as Coronado, La Jolla, even downtown, though it's pretty limited, and I'll tell you why. You can probably get double what you're supposed to get on a long-term rental doing a vacation rental.
Exactly.
So even if you don't fill out the space for 30 days, and let's calculate it 20 to 22 days, which is the average throughout the year, that's a lot of money. So the problem though in San Diego, especially in downtown where I live, you cannot, there's so many limitations, so the HOA won't allow you. And I know the Sunday people are very sneaky about it. So if you go Airbnb, you're gonna know there's a bunch of condos in downtown without an address. You see the picture, you know which building it is, but they don't specify the address. Now, is it going to get better? No. I think they're going to keep limiting, such as in Carlsbad and Cardiff, you can do less than 7 days rental, okay? So I think that's going to be probably worse in the future. Taxation-wise, now, are you aware of the TOT, the 10.5% taxes?
Oh, okay, yep.
Okay, so they came up with this 10.5%. I'm pretty sure that's going to go up. I mean, based on when I come from Italy, that's nothing, 10.5%. Especially considering you can get double the rent that you can get for a long-term rental. So the answer is, I think it could be a great investment if you have the money. And I agree with what you guys said and Nadia saying that you should be considering the rental as a long-term. And then if you can net more, that's great. It's like a cherry on the cake.
Okay. And I get that, and I think that all makes sense, but a lot of what we're seeing is there are certain properties that are being sold as vacation rental properties. And part of the reason why they are the price that they are is because people are doing the math as a vacation rental. And so those properties, let's talk about those specifically. Are those too risky in this environment?
They're selling them specifically as a short-term rental.
Well, yeah, a lot of properties are being marketed
Being
that
marketed
way.
as
They're marketing it that way.
Yeah, and they're furnished, and hey, it's a short-term rental.
Mission
we have
Beach is huge on
Mission
that.
Beach.
Yeah.
They're in Del Mar, all along the coast, especially.
Right.
And they're getting a lot of money for these properties because they can say, well, look, you're going to get $200,000 a year in revenue,
Right.
from this thing. So it's worth $2.5 million.
Right. But it goes back to the original question. You should buy a property with the intent of keeping it that you can't, it makes sense for you long term. So if you can get the bonus, and I mean, a buyer has their due diligence and their investigation period. Hopefully they have an agent who explains it to them that you're buying it on something that's probably not super secure right now. So it's a little risky.
So you would say that's too risky to go in for right now.
Well, I would advise the client, yeah, let's look at the numbers, right? This is the bonus. This would be great if we can get this, but this is what you have to bank on.
Okay.
If you're talking about those specific areas like coastal, which is where a lot of the issues are happening, Pacific Beach, La Jolla, Del Mar, those places, then yeah, I would say sit back, take an assessment. Let's look at all the numbers. Let's kind of wait till everything airs out a little bit because it looks like it might be happening within the next 90 days. New laws, things changing, being implemented.
Already happened in Del Mar.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
There's certain
just
places
like
that are happening.
the
Right.
local
Exactly. Are
ones, yeah.
happening. So wait till it airs out a little bit. Find out what happens in Pacific Beach. Let's wait before purchasing in that specific area. But if we're talking San Diego County, I mean, there are other places outside of those specific areas, like the hot places where people want to be, that you can still do it, and that they're not being regulated as hard. I mean, I know if I'm coming in from across the country and I've never been to San Diego, but I can't rent right there on the beach for $250 or $400. Well, shoot, I'll Uber a $15 Uber from 15 miles inland, and I'll pay $150 for the night or $100 for the night, and I'll stay there.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's a good place also to purchase.
Del Mar is a rare area. It's where I live, and the Del Martians are crazy. I mean, they will hop on.
Hey,
Yep.
I'm one of them.
Are you in Del Mar? I thought you were in Solana. So the Del Martians, they're crazy. I mean, especially about little things like this, like
Yeah.
the city council and all that stuff. They're nuts.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to jump on something and they're going to get it done right away, and they did on this. I don't think other areas in San Diego will be as strict, but you're right. There are other opportunities, especially single family. The high rises and the attached homes. It's more complicated. because of
Totally,
the
calm,
HOA.
especially when you
Right.
have an HOA. There's a concierge there 24
Exactly.
hours. I mean, at the Mark, for instance, in downtown, they find somebody $25,000 for that. They flagged it twice. The third time, they give them a fine of 25 grand.
But that's where I think that maybe after the first or second time, he should have abided by the rules. I mean, at that point,
It's so
write
profitable. I
the
mean,
check.
think about it. They charge like for one bedroom $300 and plus per night. I mean, the average in downtown it's $190, which includes studios. Imagine getting $190 a night for a studio. It's unheard of.
Yeah.
But
But
if
you're not
it's
going to
a-
be able to do it with an HOA, though. That's the
That's the
trouble.
Yeah,
thing. So
exactly.
if
Right.
it's allowed and you can rent out your place, I think it's a little weird if government gets involved
Right.
and starts impeding you from.
Well, an
making
HOA
money.
shouldn't have a say in how you want to utilize your property. I
don't think so.
I'm on my HOA board, and we have a neighbor that has a limousine company, and he does it out of there, and there's always parking issues, but we can't tell him that he can't utilize his property. So I'm actually surprised that HOAs are.
Well, I don't know.
Tackling
I mean,
down
I
on
have
that.
mixed emotions on that. Think about it. I mean, when I'm at like the HOA, it's almost $800 a month. Okay, there's all people a certain level.
Yeah.
And imagine if John Doe from whatever gets drunk every night because he's just vacationing in San Diego for 3 nights, and he gets all crazy and music loud up to 3 in the morning, and I have to go to work at 8. That's not fair.
But there's
So-
noise
Well-
ordinances for that already. 10 p.m. You call the cops.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's a ping pong match because I like what Airbnb is doing right now. They're actually including a lot of new technology where neighbors can get involved now, where they can actually cite the owner of the property who's leasing that property for short term, and they can write a complaint on them, saying, "Hey, look, your Airbnb host is breaking these rules. I have audiovisual proof that this is happening," and they can complain on them. And then Airbnb is now enforcing those rules, saying, "Listen, we got a complaint from your person at this time. We have proof that this happened. We're going to give you a notice. If this continues to happen, you're not a host anymore. You can't do this." And you can also, as the host, leave a review for that tenant. So if they're breaking these rules that you have set up, no partying, you're paying $800 in this nice place where
Right.
there's homeowners living, children next door, then yeah, I'm going to set a regulation, leave a bad review. So next time you go to rent someone else's place, they're just going to see these low-rated persons. So there's a lot of different things that are happening to protect everyone. And I think this is just such a new, not new, but a newer concept here that we're still just kind of just ironing out all the details.
Figuring it out.
But I believe in a year or so, we'll get to a place where it's going to benefit everyone. Because I would hate for something like this to go away.
Totally agree.
I agree.
And I will say, I'll take the final word on this one. I would say it's too risky right now to buy a vacation rental for the sake of being a vacation rental.
Depending on the area.
Do exactly what Nadia said, and make sure that it pencils out as a long-term rental as well. All right, topic number 2. Let's jump right in. You should never sell your home in San Diego unless you have to. Home values are just going to keep going up, up, up.
Fun.
I just want to start with this, really, and I'll let everyone take from here, and I'll piggyback off of. This is my thing. If it works for the clients and that's their needs and they want to sell, they're not here because the prices are going to continue to go up and up and up. Advise them, because we're all real estate professionals. Give them our opinion. Hey, look, this has the potential to do this. It's hit this market cap before. Advise them. But if that's what they want to do as a family who wants to retire and move to Mexico, then hey, let them do it. I just think whatever's in the client's best interest is what we should be doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Totally.
That's all. It's the client's needs come first. If they need to sell and they have a reason, there's always a million reasons. You got married, you got divorced, you had a child. There's always a reason to buy or sell real estate. If the time is right, do it. If the numbers make sense, do it. And if you think that the prices of homes are just going to continue to go up, there's always the factor that interest rates can go down or go up. And then if interest rates go up, then you're going to see, exactly, the buying power is going to be less. So you're going to see prices either stabilize or go down again. It's just if the time is right.
So I should preface with this. I talked to someone who gave me the idea for this topic, and this is a real estate investor who was like, "Sell? Why would I ever sell? I just keep buying," and they just keep buying, keep buying.
And if they can afford to do that
Absolutely.
and hold those properties through ups and downs in life, like you mentioned, divorce, death, expanding
power
their
to
families,
you.
whatever it is, hang on to that property as long as you can. I looked at a stat, I think 27 years was a 400% increase in downtown. So if you can hang on to a property for 30 years, do it. I mean,
Right.
absolutely. You'll see enough ups in there to sell or just hold your asset.
Yeah.
But a lot of people can't afford to keep 10 properties or even 4. So especially here, affordability is a little
Right,
high.
that's true. But I think there's so much to play in the, that's such a broad question. First of all, it's about,
course.
are you owner-occupant? Is there an investment property? So if it was an investment property, I'll probably recommend to sell and maybe invest in Sunday 1031 exchange into Sunday that's more profitable. If that's owner-occupant, if it's your primary residency, I would probably look, there's so many things involved. It's not just about what's the appreciation, how much we're going to go up next year in prices. It's not the 2, 3, 4%. So there's so much to play as far as the demographics. And what about the interest rates? Like you mentioned, that's a great thing you said.
It's a huge factor.
So I was talking yesterday to a big player in the mortgage industry here in San Diego, and he said, Joe, we went up from 3.5% to 5%. I'm expecting the next 90 days for people to have a shock because we're not used to that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 1.5%. It's a lot of money. We're talking about $150, $200 in the median, average, I should say, mortgage. So, and they're planning to pretty much is going to go up around 6.5%. That's going to be the new standard, he was saying. I believe him. I mean, it's finally time that, these rates are going to go up. So even if the value is going to go up, let's say 3.5%, but the affordability level decreases because the mortgage rates are high, then what?
Right.
You're going to have less people interested in your property because they can't afford to buy the house anymore. So, I am always like, I don't like to roll the dice. I know what's happening right now. I think it's a great time to sell still, especially during the holidays, Christmas time. The buyers that are on the market right now, they're serious.
Yeah.
They want to buy. They're not doing a bidding war. They're not putting an offer on Gabe's property, on your property, and so forth. If they like one property, they put on property and they stick to it.
Right.
So the answer is yes, if you want to sell, and just go for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Joe hit it right on the nail. It's kind of really just dependent on what the situation is, a client-to-client basis. Figure it out. If they're an investor, if it's owner-occupant, you kind of figure it out from there. Me personally, I like to roll the dice, as Joe says. I would like to, if I've earned equity over the last 2, 3, 4 years on a property, let's sell it. Let's diversify the portfolio now. I had a single-family residence. Now let's go purchase a quadplex and rent 3 of them out. Airbnb. Well, let's rent the other
Set your
one.
own rules
Well,
when
let's
you
yeah,
own it.
right, exactly. But let's rent those out now, and let's have it pay for itself, and multiply, grow that portfolio. Add real estate as a big asset of that portfolio, so you can grow your wealth and secure yourself and your family for your future.
Yeah, no one ever went broke taking a profit. Which is why, I actually disagree with this as well, because I don't think home values will just go straight up.
No,
They've never done that.
never.
But they will over long periods of time go up. So, if you're buying a home to live in, if you can buy something that you can live in for a long period of time, say 8-10 years, that's about as safe as an investment is going to get for you.
Right.
Probably going to make money. In a really bad scenario, if you buy at the absolute top, you'll probably break even when all is said and done. If you pick the worst,
you can hold on.
if you can pick the worst 10-year run anywhere, you're going to see that you're going to about break even in most places. So that's if you absolutely miss, completely whiff.
Right.
Now, if you get lucky, you might make a few $100,000. And if that's the case, now your whole world has changed.
Right. Good for you.
Yeah,
if you
now
did
you
that.
can change everything.
Yeah.
American dream.
Buy the bigger house, buy a house, buy an investment property cash, have retirement income coming. There's so many different things you could do. So I do think it makes sense. I do think it makes sense to sell. But remember, when you sell, that's the only time it matters what your home is worth.
Exactly. Know your comps.
It's the only time it matters. If you buy a house and it goes down in value, it does not matter. All it does is lower your taxes. It doesn't actually change anything. House is still there. Everything's still the same. What you bought it for is still the same. What your payment is still the same.
Right.
The only thing that changes is your taxes go down. But for some reason, people freak out.
Yeah, they freak out on that.
They do.
Yeah.
They freak out.
I think if buyers focused a little bit more sometimes on maybe not maxing themselves out with their purchase, just because you're approved for $1.5 million.
Yeah.
maybe we
I agree
could
with you.
find a
Yep.
great home at 1.2. And it allows for some room to weather any kind of storm that comes.
Right.
So there's a little back to that conservative approach. But people are like, well, wait a second. If the lender told me I can spend $1.5 million, let's go spend $1.55 million. And I'm like, wait, no. Let's not
Then
do
again,
that.
when you're in San Diego and there's no inventory, it's really hard to stay within your
Patience.
budget and not go
Right.
above, especially if you find that dream home and you're like, oh my God, there's 20 other offers on this place, but I want this house. So you go to your max.
Yeah, well, and that I think that's sometimes part of the problem. I want,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think the wiser investor usually sat back and waited for the right deal to come and then pounced.
Avoid the mania.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's like
take a step back, we'll find it.
there may not be blood in the streets anytime soon in the San Diego real estate market, okay? But we're here for the last time that there was. And so what it looked like and what it smelled like and what it tasted like. We know what that was. That was the time to buy. That was the time to buy, to make a lot of money
Yeah.
in
Earn a lot
a
of
short
money.
period of time. That was the time. But for a lot of people, that's not what they're doing. They're not sitting around waiting for the right time to buy. Some investors are, sure.
Yeah.
The savvy investors, they're like, oh yeah, I'll just wait. I'll just wait.
Right.
I'll sit here and wait.
They'll sit and wait.
But a lot of people want to buy because it's part of their retirement strategy, right? And that's really the right way to look at it. If you look at buying a home as part of your retirement strategy, hey, I want to pay this thing off. I want to have no payment. I want to
Yeah.
retire.
Live debt free.
Yeah, and not have a payment. Then it really doesn't matter. What the house is worth never matters. And that's kind of actually part of the point here is that it doesn't matter. If you buy the house for $500, it's worth $100,000. 25 years from now, who cares? If you own it free and clear and you live there and you're happy, then who cares?
If that's the goal, then yeah. I do have a situation that right now where I'm working with a buyer, and they do want to purchase a property, and part of it's as an investment. And we are noticing that some of the areas we're looking in that she's qualified for is that market cap, the most it's ever sold for, is near to where we're purchasing it for now. And now we're thinking, look, you know what? I'm having an advisor. I know you love the home, but I'm looking back 7-10 years on the sales, and we've never hit this mark, even close to this mark. So I don't foresee it happening, as a probability. Not saying it's impossible, but just saying it's improbable that it'll surpass that amount. So we're having a type of situation like, well, okay, well, let me take you out of this neighborhood and move you over here. Let's search over here where properties have the possibility of increasing 50, 60, 100,000 more dollars in equity.
Gabe, what's her plan? Does she want to stay there long term, or is she?
That's
2-3
exactly
years?
the same thing. Yeah, so we sat and we went over her plan, and she wants to sell the property. So I told her that the location that she had her heart set on, unfortunately, doesn't have much more room to grow that fits her plan that she wants.
And good for you
in
for being
7-10
honest with
years.
her and advising her that way, because a lot of people are, they're quick to just advise to write the offer and let's just get it closed.
Yeah,
no.
but I just want to make sure, everyone out there watching, take that into consideration as well.
Yeah,
What's
fantastic
the cap
advice.
in before?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Gabe. Everyone, Netta, Gabe, Nadia, Joe, fantastic debate. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having
I
us.
appreciate it. We'll be back again next month, same time, same channel. We will see you then.
Peace.